What if I told you that the whole chase for more money is actually a trap? That getting rich all by itself might just be the biggest thing distracting you from living a life you actually truly love. Okay, let's get into this. Have you ever felt that? Come on, you know the feeling. You finally hit that goal, you buy the fancy thing, you get that promotion, and then in that quiet moment right after, this little voice in your head just whispers, "Is this it?" This quote from the book Your Money or Your Life just nails that hollow feeling, of finally arriving at a place you thought would make you happy, only to find, well, not much there at all. And that feeling, it just leads to the biggest question of all, right? If piling up more and more money doesn't equal more and more happiness, then what does? What are we actually supposed to be doing here? To get to the real answer, we've got to understand the problem first. And the problem is the default path that pretty much everyone is on. Let's call it the 40-year trap. So this trap has a name. It's called the deferred life plan. It's this crazy idea, as Tim Ferriss points out, that we should just sacrifice our best, most energetic years, our 20s, 30s, 40s, grinding away at a job we can barely stand. All for what? For the promise of some golden retirement that might not even come. It's a terrible trade when you think about it. And check this out. This is the fulfillment curve. And honestly, understanding this changes everything. At first, our happiness just skyrockets as we go from just surviving to having some comforts. But then, look what happens. As we pile on more and more luxuries, the curve flattens out. And then, it actually starts to go down. Past that sweet spot, that peak of enough, more stuff just becomes, well, clutter. More spending literally starts to make us less happy. Wild, right? So, if getting more money can actually make us less happy, what is going on? Well, it brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Money isn't good, it isn't bad, it's not the solution, and it's not the problem. Money is simply the great amplifier. Think of it like this, okay? If you've got bad habits and poor discipline, money is just going to amplify the chaos in your life. If you don't have a purpose, $1,000,000 will just make you feel 1,000,000 times more empty. But, and this is so important, if you have a clear purpose, if you have good systems in place, money becomes this incredible tool to amplify your impact. It just makes you more of who you already are. Robert Kiyosaki puts it perfectly. It's a mindset shift. Seeing a big number like $200,000 as just a drop in the bucket, it's not about being arrogant. It's about expanding your entire vision of what's possible for you. Wealth isn't really a number in your bank account, it's a perspective. So, this is key. Before you can even think about building a financial empire on the outside, you have to build yourself on the inside. Your external world is just a mirror of your internal one. That's why we have to start by forging our inner blueprint. According to Napoleon Hill's absolute classic, Think and Grow Rich, every single great achievement doesn't start with a casual wish or some faint hope. No, it begins with a single-minded, all-consuming, burning desire. It's got to be an obsession. And here's exactly how you make that desire real. Hill's 6 steps, they're not magic. It's a formula for programming your own mind. You have to be precise, know exactly what you're willing to give for it, set a hard deadline, make a plan, even if it's not perfect, write it all down, and then, and this is the part people skip, read it out loud twice a day and really feel like you already have it. Now, to really fuel that desire, you have to completely change how you see money. And you do that with this concept of life energy. This is a big one. Money isn't just paper or numbers on a screen. It's the hours of your life you traded to get it. It's your precious, non-refundable time on this planet converted into currency. So I want you to ask yourself this right now. Seriously, that subscription you forgot about, that daily coffee, that thing you bought on impulse, were they truly worth the minutes and hours of your one life that you can never, ever get back? Okay, so once your inner world is dialed in, you're ready to build the outside structure. Now we get practical. Welcome to Section 4, Building Your Wealth Machine. You've probably heard of this, the 80-20 principle. It applies to literally everything. 20% of what you do is going to generate 80% of your results. So the secret to being massively productive isn't about doing more stuff. It's about figuring out that vital 20% and just ruthlessly cutting out everything else. Tim Ferriss just cuts right to the chase with this question. Are you inventing things to do just to avoid the important work? Are you actually being productive, or are you just being busy to avoid the hard, scary stuff that will actually move you forward? Oof. This principle applies directly to the rich dad mindset. See, most people work for money so they can buy liabilities, things that take money out of their pockets. The rich do the opposite. They acquire assets to have their money work for them. They buy things that put money into their pockets. It's that simple. And a huge piece of the puzzle is right here. Not all income is the same. The whole system is designed to favor certain types. So earned income, from your job, that gets taxed the highest. Portfolio income from things like stocks is taxed lower. But passive income, the money your assets make for you, that's taxed the lowest of all. This is the playbook. The whole game is to shift your income from the top of this chart down to the bottom. Okay, we've gone over the inner blueprint and the external machine, so let's bring it all home and talk about what it really truly means to be rich. And this brings us right back to where we started. True wealth isn't about having a bank account that's overflowing. It's about hitting that peak on the fulfillment curve, that beautiful point of enough. It's the incredible freedom you feel when you simply need less, because everything you spend your money on is perfectly aligned with your purpose. And here it is. This is the ultimate freedom. Your job does not have to be your identity. It doesn't have to be your only source of meaning. When you can separate the act of making money from the act of making meaning, you are finally free to go after both in the smartest ways possible. Because in the end, that's what this is really about. The money, the assets, the systems, they're just tools. They're tools in the toolbox. The real goal is to use those tools to design and build a life of freedom, a life of purpose, a life of meaning. So, we're going to leave you with this one last thought. Money is an amplifier. It will make you more of whatever you already are, good or bad. So the most important financial question you could ever ask yourself, well, it has nothing to do with money. It's this: who are you going to choose to become?